Just watched Coco and cried. I always cry. It gives me like this happy cry, sad cry. I don't know what it is, but I cry every single time. To film like a little 25 facts about me and this awful lighting. I've decided I'm gonna film on my phone for a little while because it does have such a good camera until I can get a vlog camera, like when I can actually feel comfortable spending that much money. They come in like, you know, like $100 to like $800 ranging, but I'm still doing my research, so I figured I'd just do this. But for those of you that don't know me, I've written out a couple facts about myself, so I have like somewhere to go. So this will be like a little like get to know me video for those who do know me and don't know me, but I feel like the people that do know me don't know most of this stuff anyways. So that's what this video is going to be about. First fact of the day is that this is my dog, Scotch. I rescued him from the pound. He's my little pride and joy. Hi, Scotch. He's a Chihuahua mixed with a Sheltie. Sweet, sweet dog. Caden says he doesn't really do much, but that's kind of what I want in a dog anyways. So he's definitely like, he's our dog. Like Caden got me him for Christmas a couple years ago, but he's like, I think he views me as like his owner, but like, I don't know. That's what everyone else says too. Like, I don't mean it in a selfish way. I think that it's just like he's my dog. It's better over here. I'm going to turn around and get started. Are new here, my name is Sarah. I'm what's the word? I was born, not I've been raised and born. I was born and raised in Utah. I grew up in Cottonwood Heights, and I now live in Murray. Caden and I, my boyfriend and I, we've owned this condo for almost 2 years, which is insane to me that it's been almost 2 years. It feels like it's been like a month or two. It's crazy, but anyways, I wasn't raised with any kind of organized religion, which like when we travel to like California and stuff, people are like, oh, are you Mormon? Are you LDS? Are you a Latter-day Saint? I'm like, no. And way back when, like when I was growing up, it was like weird if you weren't LDS because that's the majority, or it used to be the majority of the population was LDS. And I just wasn't I didn't grow up with one, you know. I just kind of learned basic morals, like right and wrong, like how to treat people. And I grew up learning about religions in school and in college, and I don't really like consider myself to be inside of an organized religion, or I don't really like, I'm like, oh yeah, that one really speaks to me. I kind of like dip myself in other, like I feel like a little, what are those things called? They're like little candy dips, and you dip them into like sugar, and then you eat them. I feel like I'm dipping myself into each little sugar, and then I'm like, that's just me. I'm just spiritual, I'm faithful, but I don't consider myself to be part of any religion. I just try to be a good person, you know? Okay, so I feel like everyone has kind of like this weird thing that no one knows about them, and it's like a weird fact or whatever. So I have a fact and a story to go along with it. So I have syncope, which is basically like some nerve in your body overreacts to trauma or blood, or like in just like a gory situation. So I've always been really bad with blood, like since I can remember. Like I remember like, you know, becoming a woman, and like that comes with like your monthly, you know, I don't want to get too graphic, but that, you know, it comes with your monthly period. And I remember my mom and dad wanted to go to this like furniture event, and I was like about to pass out. I'm like, Mom, I'm so grossed out, like I'm gonna throw up. She's like, get over yourself. I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna like pass out. And she always thought I was so dramatic, and I'm like, whatever. So I like don't know why I'm that way. I've tried to talk myself out of it so many times, but knowing now that I have syncope, and it's not that I'm just like some big wuss, like I cannot help it. My body, like I've talked myself out of it. I've put myself in situations that make me feel like nervous, like oh my god, I'll pass out, just so I don't have that like negative reinforcement. It's not as scary the next time, but sometimes I just can't help it and I pass out, and at least I know I can't help it, because I'm like, why am I this way? Like, why can I not help myself? This is so stupid. So, funny story time. I hadn't had a cut in years, like a cut that would make me throw up, you know? So, I work, this kind of ties into my facts anyways, but I work for a self-storage company, It's the second largest in the US, and I work for their corporate office as an office admin, and I'm just in charge of doing like office work, you know. And they have a coffee machine there, and the way the coffee machine works is you open the door, and the grounds are here and the water's here. They have to change frequently, and then right here is like the espresso beans with like an aluminum chute. And I don't know why I decided to grab the beans this way, but I like went to grab them like kind of like this, like all dramatic, and I sliced my finger open, and I was like, shit, at work, what am I supposed to do? Like, so I just held my finger. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna pass out. And so I just closed the coffee machine. I cleaned it up. Like there wasn't any like skin on it, but I was like, I don't want like my like germs on it. So I like got a Lysol wipe and cleaned it and closed it. And I was talking to myself the whole time to the medicine cabinet down the hall. I was like, you're okay. Like, just breathe. Don't think about it. It's a small cut. Like, this is my way of not letting like that negative reinforcement get to me, you know. So I'm just like, you're okay. And I run into my boss, and I was like, haha, you know, just like cut my finger. She's like, oh, are you good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm great. Get the stuff I need, the gauze and the band-aids and like Neosporin and stuff. And I walk to the women's restroom, and I'm holding it, and I get like a wet paper towel and kind of wrap it to see if it'll stop bleeding. And I'm not looking because I'm like, I'll throw up. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit of blood or a lot. And there was a lot, granted, but I couldn't look. So then there was one other person in the stall next to me, and I was sitting down on the toilet, you know, not going to the bathroom or anything. I was just sitting there to stabilize myself. And I unwrap it, and I look, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. And I'm like starting to get clammy. I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna pass out. And I'm like panicking. And so I start literally taking off my clothes in the work bathroom. Like, I'm in a stall, but I'm still at work, you know. I mean, like, so I'm taking off all my clothes because I'm overheating. So I literally am just in my bra and underwear. Sorry, person next to me, like, that was probably just as traumatic for you as it was for me, you know. And so anyways, I'm like, I just kneeled down on the toilet, I kind of went like this and was like, you know what I mean. And then I think I passed out because I don't remember the next, like, it was like choppy, you know. And then I woke up, or like came to, and I'm like cold. Like, my body gets cold after that clammy state. So I'm like, why are my clothes off? So I get my clothes on, and the thing after like that, like, shock that you go through is that your body needs, like, your blood sugar drops dramatically, and so you need to get like something sweet in your system to kind of like get your blood sugar back to where it needs to be. So I text my friend in legal, and I'm like, hey, weird but random, can you like possibly get me a Coke and like come to the women's restroom on the 3rd floor, and like, can you do it quickly? And she's like, okay. And so I'm like, please just come, like, I just need you right now. So she comes down, she's like, what's going on? And I was like, I literally just passed out. And there's still someone in whatever stall it was, there's still someone in the stall, and I'm like, I just passed out and took all my clothes off. And she's like, no. I was like, yeah, I did. And I got out of the stall, and I went to the break room, and I was like, I cannot believe that just happened. And I was still kind of like shaky and clammy, but I was like cold. It almost feels like when you have the flu, and you can feel yourself a bit like, you're like, I need to throw up, and your body gets really, really warm. And then once you throw up, you get like the chills. That's literally how it feels like when I go through this. This is such an embarrassing story, but it's so funny. Like, I have to laugh from it, you know. So I tell my boss about it, and she laughs. She's like, you took off your pants? And I'm like, oh yeah. You know, it's just like, don't know what to say. And so a couple weeks ago, we had like our blood drive, or like, I think it was like last week, we had this blood drive, and she's like, Sarah, are you gonna donate some blood? And I'm just like, haha, no. And we laughed about it. So I told Caden about this whole thing, and every time I get kind of like woozy, like, and after that I felt like I kept cutting myself. So I cut myself on the blender, like the little blade in the blender when I was cleaning it. And I was like, oh my god, oh my god. He's like, here, I'll get you a band-aid, don't look at it. I'm like, I can't look at it, I'm gonna pass out. And he's like, don't take off your pants. So it's like a full-on joke now. And I mean, like, I think it's pretty funny. Like, it's not funny when it's happening, but it's hilarious because I can't control it. So that's a random fact about me you guys didn't know that is very awkward. If anything else, I can just laugh at it, and it's like, you know, it's one of those things that you just can't control, and you just gotta laugh about it, you know, just, you know, life. So I love photography. My dad taught me when I was just a little girl, and we've been doing it ever since. And since I've moved out, we don't do it as much, but I still continue to do photography. I just like it. It's like a nice pastime. And we'll get to the pastime in a second. But it's nice. It just like reminds me of home and families. My favorite pastime recently is painting. And the thing is that I always hated painting. Like, hated it. Just kind of see from like start to finish. I might keep all my canvases and see how much better I get throughout the year. Just gives me something, because it's like, if you're good at something, it's fun to excel, but starting from the bottom, the very bottom of something where you suck at it, and maybe I become like amateur like for painting, and you know what, that's great, because then I've like bettered myself. Okay, am I a dog or a cat person? I am a hardcore cat person. Kidding. He's like a cat dog, but I'm just kidding. No, we make fun of him because he's like a cat dog. He's strange. Like, I'll have to film, like, in the meal prep video, he's just like meandering around. He looks like a little kitty. But I am a dog person. Always have been, always will. We had a dog growing up. When she passed, that was like one of the hardest things for my age, I've ever had to go through. Born in July. I'm a July 11th baby. So my birthday is 7/11, and I get free Slurpees on my birthday. And no one gets that. I'll, like, pharmacists will be like, when's your birthday? I'm like, 7/11/95, free Slurpee day at 7/11. And they're like, okay. Bitch, really? You don't know that that's the day? Ugh. I am hardcore into horoscope. Like, I read my horoscope every single day, and some of it is kind of general, but considering that it's been point on basically all the time for me, I'm just like, yep. Like, that's almost like, in a sense, it's kind of like my religion. Like, when people read the Bible every day or their scriptures and stuff, I like read my horoscope every day. Like, that is just what I do. It's what I've done for years. That's what kind of gets me motivated for the day, kind of. And what's really cool is when you read it at the end of the day, and it's like, oh, my day was shit. And then you read it, it's like, your day's not going to be very good today. And it's like, a pet peeve of mine is small talk. I hate talking about the weather. I hate talking about school. I hate talking about work. You know, and I'm guilty of it. But sometimes you don't know the person, and that's just what you gotta do. Okay, I'm a student right now, and I really have no idea what I'm doing for the rest of my life. I actually am one math class away from getting my associate, and then trying to decide what I want for my bachelor. I have no idea, because I started with photography, and then I went to sign language, and then I went to massage therapy, and then forensics, communications, psychology. Like, I've gone through the whole list, you know, of like, but the main thing is like, what degree can I get with the least amount of math? That's what I'm looking for. If I were to choose beach or mountains, I would choose mountains in like a millisecond. I don't like sand. I don't like how it fits in every little crack in your body or every little wrinkle in your body. I like the mountains. I love Utah, and I love Utah's summer and fall, and that's it, because we don't even really get a spring, and then the rest of it's winter, and I hate being cold. Like, I cannot warm up. I have super low blood pressure. I have really low blood pressure, so I get cold really easily, and I just don't really have good circulation, so it takes me forever to warm up. So in a perfect world, it would be 6 months summer and 6 months fall. I'm 5'11". I met Caden on my middle school bus in 8th grade. And my favorite artists right now are Caden, because he has some stuff coming out. It's really good. I'm excited for you guys to see. Khalid, Billie Eilish, Wet, and Aliana Baraz. Those are my favorites right now. My dream occupation would be like to own a studio for like photography, fashion, makeup, and have like a big crew of people for a studio to do headshots and just like mess around and have a good time, like a fun studio. And then another dream that I had that's been a dream since I was a little girl that will probably never change is to own a nonprofit ranch full of dogs to be adopted, and I own all of them. That sounds bomb. I drive a Toyota Camry. It's a 2003, so it might hit the bucket soon, but I really hope it doesn't. I like my mom cars, and I'm proud of it. So talents, I guess makeup, photography, baking, and I really like to sing with my dad, but I don't know. I'm just kind of still, maybe it's painting and I just haven't found my niche yet. Who knows? My favorite sports team is the Utah Utes. They're here, obviously. We have a pretty big rivalry between Utah University and Brigham Young University in Provo. We bleed red, they bleed blue, and it's like, because we don't have a professional team in Utah, we like go hard when that comes, like no matter if it's mainly football, but if it's basketball. My bucket list, I really want to go to Greece, New Zealand, St. Lucia, Arizona, and Washington. Just kind of different, but just stuff that I'm interested in. I am a nap queen. I nap all the time. Caden makes fun of me for it, but like, a girl needs her naps, okay? Favorite movies are Coraline, which I know all the words to. I watched it for 3 years straight before I went to bed. Like, my mom and I had a bake session, and we were making like chocolate chip cookies or something, and she was in the living room, and I was like finishing up, cleaning up, and I was like reciting it, and she's like, "What?" And I was like, "Sorry, I'm just like quoting the movie." She's like, "You know that? Like, you know all those lines?"
Yes, I do.
I don't know what this says. It's like Sim Delight. I think I wrote this when I was asleep. If you like what you see, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. I will link my Instagram below. I usually do polls on what you guys want to see for the next video. But until then, I will see you later. Goodbye. That's me. Those facts. They about me. Scott, you want to say bye? Say bye. Okay, bye. Remember me. Though I have to say goodbye. Remember me. Do, 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 do.